Back straight.
All right, thanks, guys, have a good day.
Little girl was working on mine, about 85 pounds, and she was sitting on my leg. And I looked up at her and I said, you got to lose weight.
They're living in a parcel.
Yeah, there's water in that area. But that's an awful good place to get stuff
They're
working.
not doing anything, so.
I've been out there,
There's no maintenance.
what did I go out there for?
From
It
head
probably
wall.
one of my knees when they messed up early.
And what
Then I did some therapy out there, and
Just taking care
my son did some therapy after he had broken a leg.
of generation.
He was in a cast for like
You follow me?
8 weeks.
Yeah, that's a good place.
Is that gonna, did he come up with the price?
We're recording? We are recording, okay.
And that's what the, okay, I
All
didn't know.
right.
So how many feet are we?
Well, we ready to go to work?
Okay.
14,000.
Good.
All right.
That's.
We will call the Grant County Drainage Board to order March 14, noting 4 of 5 members present. Mr. Cox is absent today, all others are present. And so we are ready to move to the approval of minutes. Who has those?
I got it, yeah, second it. Yeah. I'll make a motion.
That's.
I read it.
Mr. Cates has made a motion to approve the minutes as presented. Mr. Pinkerton seconded that. Any questions, comments, editorial changes, sly remarks?
75 feet.
Hearing none, all those in favor would say aye.
Aye.
Aye, it is carried unanimously. Jim, if you'll walk us through our sets of claims, please.
Okay, we got a couple that's in the red on the end, but we had planned for that, and that money's gonna bounce back either real soon or by fall. First one, Chronicle Tribune, $42.84 on the Lumbo drain, $10,807 in the fund. IMI, $3,347.69 on Barron Creek. IMI, $662.71 on Potter Creek, $21,096 in the fund. IMI on Potter Creek, $1,312.39. Potter Creek, again, $21,000 in the fund. Another one, IMI, $950.52 on Potter Creek, $21,000 in the fund. This Potter Creek was all erosion work that had been let go for about 40 years downstream from the head wall. We've got it all fixed. Fulham Camp Excavating, okay, I missed one. IMI, $1,158.63 on the Hollis Daughtery. And Fulham Camp Excavating, $6,500 on the Hollis Daughtery. We're $13,138 in the red right now. But that's gonna bounce back with a big collection in spring and fall. What's this one?
It should come out in the spring.
Should bounce back in the spring. And we knew that, that was when, it was time to fix them.
Where's the Hollis Daughtery at? What part of the county, okay?
That's at, swampy ground over by the old Miller Purdue farm
Oh,
on Dollar Lake,
okay.
in that Peak Bog area.
Question. Why is all that IMI? Farmers do it, or who's the contractor?
No,
Redmond got one.
that was all stone placement. Redmond did all the Potter Creek ones, and he did, the Barron Creek one.
Where's his bill?
We done paid him.
Okay. No, I just,
And then the IMI bills were coming in, and somehow they went into her,
My junk email,
Really?
yeah,
so I talked to,
I got a
I
statement.
talked to Kevin.
Yeah,
We had $90 for a financing fee or something. He didn't know anything about that, so we're trying waiving that. But they'd all been hiding in that file until they wanted to know where their money was.
I had IT fix it, so they won't go there in the junk file anymore.
Yeah. And we're not done on Barron Creek. We got a request on farther down to when it bounces back. We've got one other branch drain to fix out there, and then Lee Holloway wants some more erosion work done. We did all we could while we were in that area.
Is that in the muck area that we've got problems with?
Part of it,
Okay.
I'll make a motion to go.
I'll second.
Motion, Mr. Kate, second, Mr. Goff. Any other questions, comments on the first set of claims? Hearing none, all those in favor would say aye.
Aye.
Aye. That was unanimous, so we're good.
Part of that, to answer Gordon's question, part of it's been cleaned so much and then, you know, you had trees on the opposite bank that were kind of on the slope that were left years ago. And that water eroded under them and bounced back and washed some of that bank straight up and down. And we laid it back and repaired it, you know, and we took those trees out because they were undercut and they were all gonna fall in, so. That's part of the, and we done paid Redmond. Okay.
And I checked Redmond's invoices, and gravel was not on them.
And we got Cook Excavating, $4,080 on Pipe Creek Log Jam, $165,639 in the fund. And then we have Cook Excavating at $2,550 on Pipe Creek on a log jam. And they were on the Matthews Farm and the Miller and the Scheidett property, Matthews,
You have to go to the next one.
and then the Miller was 10 hours on a large log jam. We went through 1,000 feet of woods with the owner's permission, working from both sides of the ditch, and several smaller jams.
All right. So we've got these two from Cook Excavating. Kenny is on that watershed, so we'll have him abstain.
Make a motion, we take Cook.
Second.
Motion, Mr. Pinkerton, second, Mr. Goff. Any other questions? Hearing none, all those in favor would say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those abstaining? Carried 3-1 abstention. All right. Old business, we have no updates there. New business, we've got a request on Barron Creek, Lee Holloway.
You know, we got the major ones on him. He's got some pictures of the ones we left because we were run out of money. And he realizes there's another open ditch that the money needs to save up for and do now. But then he just wants to, on the record, that he's on the list.
Get on the list.
When the fund bounces back, and this erosion helps everybody. Also on that unnamed tributary that went for a half a mile, we put a lot of stone on that. There's some of his pictures.
Make sure that the minutes reflect.
He's got a grass set aside and he'll have to grow that because there's no way you can recoup that. The only way to fix it is to lay those banks back and rip-wrap it heavy. You can't put dirt back in and put the creek back like it was once it's washed out, and he realizes that.
So with this, is this first before we finish, or is it?
No, we need to do the other open ditch that's still left.
So he'll be
It'll be a year or so,
second in line, or first in line after this project. Yeah.
maybe next fall,
Okay.
and he realizes that.
Alrighty, Little Creek and Moon's extension request from Adam Worrell. I say that right?
And I've got a picture here, after you look at Mark, pass it down to Kenny, but Little Creek pays maintenance, it's on maintenance to right here at the head wall. This landowner is interested in paying on his own to open this up and put the open ditch to there. The Milner Moon extension is real old.
Not
It's in-
Milner Moon.
No. Milner, Moon,
Moon, okay.
Moons.
okay.
Yeah.
But anyway, after it would be open, they're already paying maintenance, and we could continue and we'd maintain the open ditch that they built. It's never worked good through the woods.
Where's the moon deal at?
So
Fairmount?
that's where he wants to work.
Mark, this,
Is it Fairmount or what?
this is.
Just off of 37, that's 37 in the picture there, Kenny.
Where Center Christian Church is? That's the ditch that's there.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
Was it Wolves or?
Bob Gross's last house was here.
Okay.
Hackleman's here,
Okay.
come 400, and anyway, this is Little Deer Creek.
On the big map,
Head
Kenny,
wall.
we're right here. Look here, Kenny. Here's 37.
Yeah, well,
Big map are right there.
That was out there.
Yeah. Anyway, it's breaking down full of roots. Way I'd understood it is, Wayne and Doris had that filled in when they first bought that farm. It was open up through there, and they had that filled in. Well, the way I'd understood it is it was open all the way to the county road at that point.
Right, that's for my
That's before
time.
your time, evidently, Gordon.
For my
Where
time.
are you gonna work on this at?
We was wanting to come to the head wall and extend,
Come from here?
no, head wall's right here off the Little Deer.
Yeah.
We was wanted to start here and dig this back open, put the new head wall for the new entrance.
Okay, so you're gonna
Get
leave
it
it
through the
open?
woods, leave it open.
Gonna leave it open to the tile,
Right,
because unless you clear the woods, it won't make any difference.
right. And we decided clearing the woods was not an option.
That's what I was wondering, it's not going to clear the woods in.
Well, we started on it and decided it was cost prohibitive.
So we're just giving permission to work in our,
And extend.
And you'll end up claiming that ditch from here on out.
okay?
Yeah.
We don't have that in our inventory right now, but we'll take it, or it's part of the inventory.
The
take.
tile's not under maintenance, but the open ditch is on the maintenance, and these people pay on the maintenance of the open ditch.
So once we open it up,
Yeah.
It's just extending the regulated drain.
Right, in our regulated easement.
Start, leave the existing head wall and start up in here.
What size tile is it? Just out of curiosity.
It's 20-inch concrete. And Roots has got it, and Wayne kept it mowed forever. And, anyway, when the cattle were running in there on it, they kept all the suck holes trumped shut. And now the suck holes have not been trumped shut, and so it starts opening up and it's just tore itself up.
Yeah.
And, the sad part about it is they need to replace the Moon's extension, because the Moon's extension is bad, and there's only 2 landowners that have tributary to it, and it's them and the Gross family. So, anyway, it's gonna get them better drainage and at a lower price.
Yeah.
Do you think on where you end off, you're just gonna put riprap around?
I think, I got to looking at it, I think we could just make a riprap sloped entrance into it and get along all right.
I think that'll work. It doesn't.
It's extremely flat ground
It
in
doesn't
there.
take a whole lot of surface flow, does it?
Right, I'm sure there's quite a bit of surface water goes that way, but it doesn't have much, speed to it.
Okay.
Because it's extremely flat coming into it, so that was the main reason we wanted to come up, so.
So they're gonna do work at their expense, open it up to the fence line?
Yes,
Okay. And they already pay, we'll just keep it sprayed, but we're spraying now, and we'll keep it sprayed.
Gonna leave so you can get something through there to spray it,
right,
but you're gonna be fine.
yeah, that right of way is, this cut through the woods is pretty wide, and what do you suppose that is, 80 feet across there? At least? So,
We'll have plenty of access to come in and maintain the open ditch.
yes,
Keep the trees back.
yeah,
The owners do that at their expense, right?
right.
Okay.
next we need to have a motion.
So in changing the regulated ditch or accepting an extension, does that take does it take a hearing, or does that just?
I don't think it does. We can research it if you want. I just don't think it does.
Or we can do it and then research it and then maybe have to redo it if we have to.
Right. The only, you wouldn't notify, if it used to be open, You wouldn't need to notify everybody in the watershed to have a public hearing. You don't need to notify the people that benefited right at the end that you're changing it, wouldn't you?
Well, I've been there for many years and I didn't know it closed in. And probably not many other people know it, so how do you? Unless you're gonna have a record of it.
We're probably a record of it, because we got a record of when the tile was put in.
Okay,
So that'd show it, but
okay.
The way it is, you can't hardly put a tile on there, the roots would go back to it.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
You know.
the area we're talking about, this concrete tile, is that part of our inventory?
right, it's maintenance. We got an easement.
So we're just allowing him to work in our easement?
Yeah, the easement already exists on the tile.
Okay.
It's not a private tile.
No, it's a county
Okay,
tile.
so I thought this was private.
No, it's a county
We were
tile.
actually extending.
It's
that
just an
out.
old county
So this is
tile that's
already a
never,
regulated drain
right.
that was tiled in, now they're taking the tile back out.
It's not worked for years. If that's the case, I think we're
Yeah,
okay.
no, it's, yeah,
It's a regulated easement either way.
okay, so it's already there then.
You'd be voting for future maintenance to be applied to the open ditch and approval for them to do it at their expense.
I'm on Little Creek, so I'll be abstaining.
Okay.
I'm still on Little Creek until we do Middle of the Moon.
And we're gonna talk about that here in a few minutes, all right?
Well, you want a motion on that?
We do need a motion.
Okay.
So, Mr. Cates, you're making that motion. We allow, work at the owner's expense?
Yeah.
All right,
I'll second that.
all right. Any other discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor would say aye. Aye. And those abstaining?
Aye.
Carried 3 to 1 abstention. It does pass. And hope you
Very good.
enjoy getting that work done. Don't know that you'll enjoy it, but you'll enjoy it after it's done. All right, other business is Milner Moon. We need to set a date for the vacation hearing.
I might add, I checked with Mark Hasty, who's been talking to us. And you said we can do it as early as April 25th. And check with him, because that's not a good time. He said, we've got it going, let's go have the hearing April 25th, so we can get this thing moving, you know? Because you're not very management, so
Okay.
he and I have talked, so he's all right. And of course, everybody get a notice, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it's gonna be a regular public hearing. And the William Rogers, it's been quite a few years ago, but I looked up an example for it and I wrote this up and then Mary typed it up and it doesn't say anything about a surveyor's report for a vacation of a drain. That's the legal thing that goes with the assessment roll.
On the Chronicles.
Going to Chronicle. But
Has to be 2 times or just once?
I believe it's just 10 days before the hearing, but I'll look into it, make sure.
it just says at the end that the watershed or the assessment roll is available for inspection if anybody wants to see it. And they got their 5 days to file an objection before the hearing if they don't want to vacate it.
Hey, Gordon, did you want to
Hey,
explain?
yeah, you guys had good luck on that.
Did you want to explain what we found out about the money from the auditor?
We checked with the auditor. She says that we can, once we vote to vacate, we can write out the money that's in to the landowners and call it a reimbursement.
Yeah, I could, as long as I put it as a reimbursement due to vacation of drain. So I have to include on my claim the circumstance of that reimbursement. If
She's
it's
got
for
all
work,
those
we can't do
percentages
it.
and everything of
But due
whose
to vacation,
percentage.
we can.
Good, okay. So that covers us legally.
Yeah, we're good. Everything's good.
And there's only been one
Get that one bought.
claim that we increased the maintenance in 2017. That was down.
Nothing, yeah.
And we went from $10 an acre to $150 home site in 2017. And I looked at that, and I had a claim off of that for $14, I think, or whatever. Tile repair. That's the only claim that's
Only
been
claim
made.
that's been-
Everybody else has just
Been
been
doing
fixing. And I've fixed it a lot of times too. So,
So we need a motion for April 25th?
April 25th, public hearing. Mr. Pinkerton has made a motion for the April 25th hearing to vacate Milner Moon. Do I have a second? Mr. Cates is holding up his index finger, not the other one, and
Thank goodness.
so we're taking that as a second. Any other discussion? Welcome back, Kenny. All right, all those in favor would say aye. Aye. Those abstaining.
Aye.
Carried 3-1 abstention. We will be having our vacation hearing on April 25th for the Milner Moon. I do have one other notation that I need to do under other business. How about you, Jim? Anything else?
Ryan would like to speak as well.
Wow.
I know.
My goodness. It may be the same thing, Ryan, but I was going to note that we had a request to review a parcel. Is that what you wanted to do?
One of the things.
Okay, go ahead and we'll clean up after you're done.
I was just gonna bring up again the 1 acre pond ordinance.
I did talk to two of the county surveyors, Jared Hahn. I talked to his assistant, and he's already on the area plan board and on subdivision approvals and stuff, and he kind of gets them there, but the drainage board don't. And Huntington County, they've been doing the drainage board's been doing the pond approvals for a long time. So I don't see any problem with us going in and taking it on with your help.
Yeah.
There was something, I read through Raymond's remarks and everything, and I thought those made sense, but there was a part of the ordinance that referred to,
Variances?
variances, but it made it sound like variances being too close to the road or property lines would come to the drainage board.
I've already corrected that from your comments from the last meeting. I've changed that to the Board of Zoning Appeals will take care of all the zoning setbacks from property lines, and then noted that the Drainage Board would be responsible for any variances from setbacks involving Indiana Drainage Code.
Okay.
So, separated the two out.
That's good.
That's great. What type of, do you just want a positive recommendation for us on that? Or do you want us to take some kind of formal action to adopt that and send it to you? How do you want us to do that, Brian?
Well, I'll present it to the Area Plan Commission for a recommendation up to the commissioners to be a text amendment in the area-wide zoning ordinance. But I wanted your guys's, because it's dealing with drainage and stuff, I wanted your input, health department's input. So I wanted you guys to be okay with it before I took it up.
I mean, technically, I'm just wondering if we need to memorialize that at all through a motion, or whether we're just by consent saying we like that change and we endorse it and take it to the APC.
Either way is fine.
Are we all consenting? We like the way that's headed? I think we'll just note in our minutes that we consented to the changes and recommend it to the APC reference drainage regulations.
Okay.
Okay? And what about our other situation? This one from Karen Lewis asking us to review, you guys are doing the parcel stuff, we just need to review on whether there are any county tile or drains going through that property, right?
Yeah, this would be our standard, if we were doing a subdivision, this is a replat. If we had someone come in with a subdivision, from that, we send out letters to health department, drainage board, highway department.
for you guys to look at it, approve your end of it and send it back. So I think instead of sending this to Jim, they sent it to you instead.
And there is some water problems out there on some of those lots. That last swamp that grows and goes, I don't remember, I've talked to that lady, but I can't remember if she's Karen Lewis. It was an older lady that lived at the end on the north side. But years ago, there was a tile put in, and I couldn't find a record of, and it drains that swamp that overgrows and overflows into the lane that went to her house. And she had Andy Rickner come and investigate it because her son found some outlet structure that was plugged or something that by the swamp, Dollar Lake. And I think after she worked on that and convinced her neighbor, because she had to get on her neighbor's property, that was both of their answers, because as the swamp would build up, it got in their driveway too. So I'll just have to look at lot 4 and get back with you. I don't think there's any county tile, but if they don't take care of the tiles out there, they've got water in their roads.
So we'll review and take some kind of affirmative action on the 28th when we come back. That way you'll be able to take it to the next level after we've done our review.
Right, yeah, this ends up going to the area plan commission. So it's getting your guys's input and then taking it to them.
Okay.
I'll take a look at it.
Anything else from APC today?
I was gonna ask, and I don't see him in the room, I was kind of hoping Mr. McCoy or Mr. Shannon would have been present from, we've got a rezoning that went through the area plan commission. Jim's familiar with it. We had pictures brought in by Mr. Shannon. They have got it appears to be a drain tile. I think Jim said it was like 800 years old. But it is flooding a property out there. And I was kind of hoping they would have came in and talked to you guys about it. I didn't know if anyone had talked to Jim or not.
No. That ditch, what was it? Maybe 19. Well, I had the index card here a while back.
Yeah.
And it's like 1911 or something like that. And it's 8 or 10 inch. And the guy that showed the pictures with the water problem, there's right where the tile goes is all grown up in trees. So, back when it was a landscape problem, our landscape company was there. I talked to them and explained how there's just a few people that have to pay for this 10-inch tile for drainage. And when the landscape place was there, they kind of put some fill in and blocked water on the northern neighbor. And that's what some of those people were worried that the factory was going to do, was continue to block water on them. But yeah, it's a bad area, and it's a little watershed to fix the problem.
Where is this at?
Is it a county tile or?
Yeah, it's the Webster tile. It's out on Pennsylvania, just south of where the radio station is. It's actually on the east side of the road and then swings around and crosses Pennsylvania Avenue. But it's a small tile. It's never been maintained. The one guy said he seemed like basement problems or water problems.
Yeah, and you could see just how bad it backed up.
And that tile goes out, whatever tiles he has runs out to the county tile. That's a tree line has grown over the tile where surface water tried to run. So
you got roots in it though.
Oh, it's full and it's shot. This was 20 years ago. I was telling them how to fix it, but I never talked to this guy. I just talked to people who had the landscaping business, the greenhouse.
Oh, okay.
That's the one that burnt down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know where we're at now.
Can the drainage board, do they have the authority to put stipulations on that property if like we just had a rezoning, he wanted to build a paper plant on that property. I think he would have struggled with wherever that tile goes. Because GIS currently says that tile goes underneath the building. So we know it's probably not there, but can the drainage board say if any further construction happens, this has to be fixed?
Right, the 75-foot easement from the center line to the tile still exists.
Right,
And the county's plat is wrong. That tile was on over to the east a little bit. It wasn't under the main building, but it did go right through a greenhouse, and water flowed like a river through the greenhouse at one time. But see, they elevated their property and they blocked the water up on that north side, on that homeowner to the north. And if the county gets involved, we would have to, if a new tile got put in, the ground would have to be recontoured where that water wasn't blocked on the northern people, that they would shed off
We
the
don't even-
excess water.
Do we have even a maintenance collection on that?
No,
So
nobody
it's-
wanted to put it on maintenance back in the day. Nobody ever petitioned.
No.
Well, the guy that's gonna build out there, whatever, somebody gets to pay the bill.
Yeah, there would be additional financing to fix the drainage on that property before it's ever anything other than a home site, you know?
right.
And then make sure they understand there's a 75-foot easement on that tile too.
Yeah.
I explained that to Mr. McCoy, with what his plans, he was going to rebuild the 7,000 square foot building that was out there, that got hit, half of it's gone due to fire. And then he was hoping to put add on an additional 3,000 square foot, to put like laser printing in. And I said, well, your problem there, you've got that county tile sitting there already. He wanted to come in and try to get it rezoned before he went through and actually did the plans and everything on it. He figured if he couldn't rezone it, no reason to spend the money on any of the plans.
And see, that's, without the tile being redone, all that surface flow would go onto that neighbor that they already don't seem to like each other.
Right.
And McCoy was asking about working or tapping into a tile in the back that's private.
Uh-huh.
The neighbor denied that.
Right.
I don't know anything about that tile. I just knew about the main line. It seems like it's a 10-inch, maybe 8 or 10.
He's content on wanting to build something or do something out there. I just didn't know if we couldn't obviously he's going to have to be 75 foot off. I just didn't know if there was anything that we could. I was again hoping that they would be there to talk to you today about it. If there's anything you guys can do to say, hey, no construction until, stop flooding the neighbor.
I don't, if you start building more roofs on that property, and depending on what you do in our easement, I could establish where the easement is with a little research. And that would give him an idea of what's buildable. But any roof structures or concrete or anything is all being detrimental to the neighbors to the south.
Yeah, I think
Without the
that
tile being fixed.
the only thing that he should really do is request that the ditch tile be marked so that he knows exactly what he can and can't do.
I think if he goes out there and he rebuilds the existing building, it's about half gone, but if he rebuilds on the same foundation, I don't think there's much I can do to stop him.
No, and I don't think the drainage board would either.
But I'm just thinking, was there something we could put in there to say, hey, if this is what you're going to do, this needs to be corrected?
Yeah, down there where the trees are and stuff, that has to be, if the thing works, has to be worked on.
Right.
So it's a matter of who pays the bill.
Right.
If this guy wants to go, I don't know, how long is it, how much?
The index card's still with my packet with area plan, but we have a book we could look through farther it had the length, seemed like it was 2,100 feet.
2,000 feet?
Yeah, the length of the tile, and it was 8 and a 10-inch.
So where it crosses Pennsylvania, there at Sylvan Hills, is that open ditch or is that still tile?
It's open ditch on the
West side.
west side. It goes down and outlets into, there's a culvert pipe.
Yeah.
You know, it's that little
Across the
dip,
Sylvan.
the little dip right there.
You're talking 50,000, put a tile in there,
Oh, yeah.
better.
Yeah.
Okay. So he's either gotta get his neighbors and so forth to help him participate, or he gets to pay the bill.
Yeah, if we're petitioning to put a ditch in, we come up with a engineer's estimate and have a public hearing, and if it passes a public hearing, everybody pays their proportionate share. That's how it'd be financed. And do they have city sewage there? Along there?
Some do. It comes up 11th Street to Pennsylvania and then goes north.
Okay, cause you know, if you have a
So
factory.
the greenhouse area, I think, does have city sewer available.
Okay, well, that'd be good for them, cause there's a septic and leach field wouldn't work good there. That ground's saturated when it rains hard.
Yeah, from 11th Street north, Pennsylvania there is.
Then as they kind of built up, they kind of put a standing water on the neighbor to the north, and it kind of makes a little pond until it runs over, gets high enough that it sheds south.
As a matter of fact, that building may have been hooked to city sewer.
They never complained about the toilets working back in the day. It was just the surface water running through their building, their greenhouse. And they put the greenhouse right over where the tile was without realizing that there was a little riser there. Well, it'd shoot up out of that riser like a fountain.
Was that the Greens or the Cunninghams?
Cunningham's.
Yeah. My wife worked for them, and then when Jeff Kahn bought that place, and he bought it from the Cunninghams.
Okay.
Well, Odell had that at one time, didn't he? Gary Odell had a little John Deere dealership.
Was that after the Kahns sold it?
I don't know.
No.
That's a little, I've slept a little bit since that day.
But this is one of those things that, you know, probably 25 years ago, I explained to somebody process for fixing this, and nobody wanted to spend the money, and that's the only way drainage problem gets fixed, is you spend money.
That's right.
They don't fix themselves. I've never seen one fix themselves yet. They just get worse. They just get
Depends
worse.
on if swamp is a drainage problem.
Huh?
Depends on if swamp is a drainage problem.
Yeah, if you like swamp, then you don't have to work on it.
We've disintegrated here, Ryan. Do you have anything else you need for APC?
That's it. That's enough.
Thank you.
There has to be a fund in the county to take care of their problems.
Well, it's called the general fund, and we asked for an appropriation, and pretty much the council said, no, that's not gonna happen. I will tell you, and I'll put this on public record, that we are looking at a donation from the American Rescue Plan Act funds, possibly $150,000 to $200,000 being moved into our general account so that we can take care of costs with the Home Creek and maybe find some more money to help with some of the stuff in southeast Marion. So we'll see how much
That's gonna plug up again very soon.
see how much we can. What's that?
When will that be?
We're actually having a discussion about it next Monday, and then we'll start the discussion with the council. Because even though the commissioners will say, this is how we're gonna use ARPA money, the council still has to agree to release the funds for those purposes. It gets a little tedious, but that's what the government imposed on us with this fund, so. All right, any other business we gotta handle?
What's this, Lumbo, is that just was supposed to get it last week or something, or last time, or what? All right.
That's a merit question.
What is it?
This Lumbo and stuff, assessment, was I supposed to get it 2 weeks ago or whatever?
Yeah, when you're not here, I just put whatever you normally
Well,
get.
I appreciate it, yeah, I appreciate it.
Yeah, that's the one we approved
Yeah,
It wasn't just a Band-Aid.
they wasn't even a Band-Aid.
Well,
If somebody's sitting there with their hanky on top of it.
Yeah, I know. Like you said, Ken, you know, that shallow part is the one that, towards the head wall always blows out that last half mile. If you go to the 36, it's going to be, about need an open ditch up to 13. I know nobody likes talking about that,
You know,
but you may not be able to get a
those guys
36
don't wanna
in.
farm over open ditch if they don't have to, I'd say, but.
36 is gonna be awful shallow. I throw down a 30, but I was just guessing, it's gonna have to have some engineering applied to it.
I hate to say this, but some of my relation, was afraid they'd make people mad. And I thought that Mary said about, well, one of the drainage board meetings was that when they was talking about setting this up, she couldn't tell whether it was $15 or 50.
Well, the way they wrote it, it was either a 5 or a 15.
Yeah, and I said make it 50 and they can always come down.
Yeah.
I checked, it was 15.
With $50 home side.
Yeah, well,
You know,
it would have been easy to come down off of 50 if people were fussing that much, but 15
you know, I was
is.
surprised that you only had
Nobody,
people here.
yeah, nobody objected. The one homeowner, right?
Why would they?
Mhm.
It wasn't even 1%.
You'd have had some people talking at 50, you know, had some discussion.
might have had to have some deputy sheriffs, right?
No.
Easy for the guy who's, you know, in Florida at the time.
But,
Yeah.
you know, and.
That was just the three of us then, wasn't it? Because he
He
couldn't vote
couldn't
on that.
vote, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, back in the day,
I'm glad you did, okay, but I'm just saying, it's not big, and I mean, it's not even a good Band-Aid.
They'll get a couple little projects and go, why didn't we get more money?
but we've had ditches where we raised back a long time ago from $1 to $3 and it'd be packed house and half of them be against it, you know, so. But everybody out there knows that something needs to be done.
Yeah, but you get about 21,000 or so a year, and you push it to 200,000, you
Say it
won't even
loud.
know where it went.
Yeah.
Motion to adjourn.
Did we have a motion
Second.
to adjourn?
Yeah, Max has been the only
Motion.
one fixing it, Kenny, he'd fixed it
With
about every year
Yeah,
for
but-
$300.
But he sent you
That
a
was
bill,
Pat.
You're the one.
Yeah,
okay?
but nobody else has been fixing anything that we know of.
But,
So I
and they
can
keep,
stop this, right?
you know, you
All those in
don't get
favor, has
enough
to
money
say
in the
aye.
fund, and they keep
Aye.
taking it out,
Band-Aid,
taking it out,
Aye.
they keep taking it out of the fund. It repairs, okay? Instead of fixing the thing right, they take it out.
Right in the middle of a sentence, he said,